There's one. Ooh, ooh.
Today is May 31st, 2021, and it is exciting because today is the start of a new journey, a new challenge, a new pursuit. Welcome to the pursuit of a 10. This is a project I've been wanting to do for a long time, and quite frankly, the main goal behind it is to become a better big bluegill fisherman. Obviously, the name is the pursuit of a 10, so I want to catch a 10-inch bluegill, which is known in Michigan as a master angler bluegill. To put it into perspective, a master angler largemouth bass is 22 inches, so a 10-inch bluegill is really a nice trophy-sized fish. Ultimately, I feel like bluegill gets such a reputation of being such an easy fish or being like a kid fish, but the reality is they're just like any other species, and the big fish are very much challenging to figure out and consistently catch. Throughout my lifetime, I want to become a great multi-species fisherman. I want to be able to pull up to a lake and catch any species on any given day. And part of that is just breaking it down one by one. And so right now, the goal is bluegill. Someday I might do a crappie series just like this, but today I want to start the journey of becoming a better big bluegill hunter. So I'm stoked. So anyways, I've got the kayak with me. Today is May 31st, like I said, so happy Memorial Day. Thank you so much to everyone who has served. I'm so thankful to live here in the United States. I'm very fortunate. That all being said, I'm stoked. I cannot wait. Let's go see what we can do. The goal is some big bluegill, but more importantly than that, I just want to catch some fish today and get this project started the right way. Let's get started.
We're off to a heck of a start. I've got a hook in my pants. There we go. Okay, we're good. We're good. Let the bluegill smashing commence. It's pretty much prime time for bluegill to be on beds. I'm gonna do what I know best and fish shallow grass in sandy areas where I think these bluegill might be spawning. Now I'm fishing with a 1/32 ounce chartreuse mule jig. That's gonna allow me to see it a little bit. It's pretty windy out here. And then I've got a Karma colored Donkey Tail Junior on there. Obviously Donkey Tail Junior is a bait that I'm extremely confident in for bluegill as well as other species, but I've got some other gear with me as well. I've got spoons, hard baits, little flies and whatnot. Oh, there's a fish. All right, there's our first, I believe that's the target species. It doesn't feel too bad actually. That's actually not a bluegill, that's a pumpkinseed. It is a sunfish as well, and it's certainly nowhere near 10 inches. What I was talking about is I've got a lot of different gear for this mission. You know, I'm gonna throw a lot of Donkey Tail Juniors, mule jigs, that sort of thing. That's a beautiful fish right there. All right, see you, buddy. But at the end of the day, I will throw whatever I feel is necessary to catch these fish. I will say this, I'm going to stay with artificials. Live bait is extremely popular for bluegill and other panfish, but it's more my style to do artificials. It's just how I roll. You can see these big craters right underneath my kayak, and what those are sunfish beds. You know, could be some bluegill, could be some pumpkin seed like we just caught, and they often group up in huge quantities. So this time of year is a great time to be catching lots of fish as well as some of those bigger fish. So I'm hoping there's one. Oh, they're notorious for nipping at tails. I'm hoping we can find some of those bigger ones. I truly believe that if you learn multiple species, you're actually gonna become a better overall bass fisherman as well. Because if you understand the different moving parts in a body, there's one. If you understand the different moving parts in a body of water, that's gonna allow you to better understand why bass act the way they do. And so as a bass fisherman, it really actually is beneficial for me to fish for bluegill and other species as well. You know, this is a nice bluegill, but let's put it into perspective. I've got my measuring board with me. I'm not gonna measure that fish. You know, that fish was definitely not on a bed. He was out on the edge of these lily pads, and it looked like a pregnant female, if I'm not mistaken. One thing that I'm noticing is there's definitely some other boats that are bluegill fishermen, and that actually brings up a good point. You know, I would say bluegill are really not treated as sport fish. They're basically two things. They're either an entry-level fish for kids to get started on, or they're something that fills the freezer for anglers. And what I'd really like to see is people to start taking them more seriously as a good sport fish as well. I'm gonna look around a little bit. There looks like there's actually beds out here too. There he is. Oh yeah. If this is a bluegill, this is a nice one. If this is a bluegill, this is a real nice one. I believe that's a pumpkin seed, and it's a really beautiful fish. Oh my gosh. This I did not expect. Holy cow, guys. I worked off a little bit deeper, and I found myself an absolute donkey right here. Holy cannoli. Let's take a look at this one on the measuring board. It only goes down to 8. So if it's 8 or above, we'll know. It's about 7.5, probably 7.5. Beautiful pumpkin seed right there. I was just working this real slow because there's wind, and I'm just working it down this depth range just out here a little deeper. I'm sitting in 4.5 right here, so I think he was probably in similar depth. And I was just really slowly drifting it and working it back with the wind, and he torched it. There he is. That's another really nice one. They're all pumpkin seed though. A beautiful pumpkin seed, not as big as the last one, but another gorgeous fish. I love those blue lines along their cheeks. I got a dry mouth. I just realized I forgot a water. So where I started fishing had a lot of pressure, so I decided I'm just gonna make moves and go to the opposite side of the lake. I'm hoping that we can continue to find sunfish over here, and more specifically bluegill, but I don't know. I'm just going into uncharted area. I've actually never really fished over here very much, so I have no idea. Yeah, that wind is kind of changing directions. I thought I was gonna be somewhat safe from it over here, but now all of a sudden it's chopping it up over here too. We'll see what happens. Nobody else is fishing over here, so maybe that's because there's no fish, or maybe it's just because nobody's found them yet. Lots of grass over here. There's just not the same amount of sand, and I think that those bluegill kind of like to bed on that kind of sandy bank. But this could be interesting, who knows? I'll start working up shallower over here where we've got a little bit more of a open bank. This could get interesting. Oh, there was a bite. Okay, that's promising. That was a sunfish of some type. There's obviously still grass in here, but it's just a little bit more conducive for an area where fish could probably spawn. So we'll see what we can find. There goes one. That's a bluegill. Saw one kind of cruising around. Oh, he's got it. He's got it. He was carrying it. There we go. Okay, look at this one. Interesting. That is the target species. It's not the target size, but it's the target species. Oh my gosh, buddy, chill. I'm trying to get a good, nice, beautiful look at you. Look at those colors. It's got that blue, those blue cheeks. Just a really beautiful, healthy looking fish right there. All right, one more look at that guy and let him go. Oh, there's a bass right there. I want to catch this bass. I mean, yes, today's focus is bluegill, but come on, when you see a nice bass, I mean, you gotta try. It's like he looks like he's on a bed, but I think he's just a fry garter. Oh, he's nose down on it. Oh! He had it. He had it. I swear he had it. Oh my gosh. I don't know. He might actually be on a bed. I think he's a late spawner. There he is. I make one pitch to the pumpkin seed and he smokes it. I've made about 100 to the bass and he hasn't eaten it. Man, that fish is just gorgeous. I love pumpkin seed this time of year. They are so pretty when they're protecting beds. Okay, chill, 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 chill. I just gotta get a quick photo of you. You're just too pretty not to. All right, here we go. All right, there you go, buddy. 30 more seconds on this bass. If he doesn't bite, then I'm gonna move. I know he's a catchable fish, but I might have to spend another 10 minutes on him, and I don't particularly want to do that. I don't have unlimited time today. I know I can catch this fish. I know I can. Eat it. He ate it! Oh my gosh, I dropped it right in front of his nose. And he's like, whatever, I'll just eat it. I fished for this guy for like, I don't know, 10 minutes. Maybe 10, 15 minutes, probably 15. Oh man, and he chomped it too. All right, where you at, bud? All right, look at that. Not only did he eat it, he sucked it down. All right, put him back on his bed. There we go, gotta love it. Ultralight fishing, caught a bedding bass. You know, today's been pretty good. You know, I haven't caught a 10-inch bluegill, which is, like I said, that's kind of the goal of this series, but I wouldn't necessarily expect to catch a 10-inch bluegill on my first trip out. Like I said, these are, you know, a 10-inch bluegill, according to the Master Angler program, would really be the equivalent of a 22-inch bass. And if I was chasing down 22-inch bass, I feel like that would take me several trips. Because that's a pretty darn big fish. Good times, good times. You know, just because this is a bluegill series doesn't mean I'm not going to catch some other species. You know, just to be very clear, I'm still a multi-species angler. There it is. What's this? Crappie. Okay, that actually makes sense because there was a couple of trees in the water there, and I was curious if there was going to be any crappie next to them. Tell you what, numerous species for the day. It's a beautiful little slab right there. Not very big, but I'll certainly take it. There he is. Oh my gosh. Team Dink in the house. You know, it wouldn't be an online outdoorsman video without a couple fish like this. All right, see you, buddy. There he is. All right, there's a bunch of fish up here. This one's kind of dogging me. Is that a bluegill? Yes, sir. Target species. Hey, look at that. Look how fat this fish is. Kind of been a slow last hour or so, but I just kind of stumbled on this area and I'm seeing a lot of fish. Some of them look to be bluegill, some of them look to be pumpkinseed, and I'm actually seeing some crappie as well. Oh man, these fish are kind of finicky right now. I'm gonna move down a little bit, and what I'm gonna try to do is really just do my best to make stealthy long casts, because it seems like these fish are getting very easily spooked. I have a feeling that's due to the high sun as well as all the pressure they've been getting. I think realistically my best bet for some of the larger fish is off on those deeper beds where I caught the nice pumpkinseed earlier in the day. There's a crappie right there. Oh, there's a fish. What's this? Feels pretty decent. This might be, it feels like it's fighting like a bluegill, but it might be a bass. No, it's a bluegill. It's not a bad one. Actually, wait a second, that's a green sunfish. By golly, I didn't know there was green sunfish in here. That's my third sunfish species. That's a very picturesque fish right there. Look at the tips of the fins. My goodness, yes, I gotta grab a photo of you, buddy. You're an awesome specimen. All right, look at that. Beautiful fish. See you, buddy. Green sunfish, pumpkinseed, bluegill, largemouth bass, black crappie. 5 species, all on the same bait. That's what's up. Anybody else here? What's this? What's this? He was carrying it. That's a crappie. All right. Nice crappie, actually. Pretty decent one. I wasn't honestly planning on catching crappie out here because I just didn't know there was very many of them, but looks like there's a few around, that's for sure. See you, buddy. Oh, man. Tail kick. He was angry and he was ready to go home, man. Whew. I'm going to back off and fish out here a little deeper. Similar pattern to what I was doing at the beginning. There's one. Ooh, ooh. This is fighting like a panfish. Or is it a bass? It feels like it's got some serious, this has got to be a bass. It's got too much weight. This has got to be a bass. Oh my gosh, no it's not. It's another oh man, look at that. Look at that, barely hooked. Holy smokes. Holy smokes, that's a pumpkinseed bluegill hybrid. Okay, I'm definitely gonna come back to this lake. I think it's got potential. I don't think it's a 10-incher, but it's a nice fish. His tail's actually beat up a little bit. It's just it's so tall. The problem is this is half pumpkinseed, so it's so dang tall. Look how tall that fish is. It's just shy of 8. It almost touches 8, not quite. The tail's all beat up because it's been making a bed. That is an absolutely gorgeous fish. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it loose just like that. There you go, buddy, go ahead. He's like, what's going on? Okay, there we go. He's back. Okay, very cool. That's the kind of caliber of fish that I am happy to catch. You know, if that would have been a pure bluegill, he probably would have been close to 10. I have a feeling there's some more fish like that, of that caliber. Unfortunately, like I said, these fish have been getting a lot more pressure. There's a reason the boats have been over here because there's certainly a larger population of fish. Problem is, they're just getting hit hard. And so I think you just have to be patient. You got to make long casts, and I think you got to fish these little bit deeper beds that maybe some people overlook. Slowly but surely, I'm kind of coming up with a pattern though. That's good. The wind just keeps changing directions. It's really driving me nuts. It's now blowing directly at me. The big thing that I'm learning is patience with these deeper beds. You just got to kind of let it free drift. Let the wind kind of push it a little bit back to you. Oh, one had it. I bet that was a crappie. Something was mouthing it. I pulled up and felt just a little bit of pressure in it. It immediately let go. Anyways, you know, the big thing here is patience. You got to cast it out there, and then you just get your line low and straight into the wind. You let it sink. You ought to make sure you're patient enough to get it all the way to the bottom, because these fish are positioned towards the bottom. And then I just kind of have been twitching my, oh my gosh, he smoked it. Oh my gosh, I think this is another nice one. Oh man, I was gonna say, I've been kind of twitching my rod tip up, and then I just reel. Oh man, that's a pure bluegill, and he kind of got it in the forehead there, or should I say 5 head, because that's a pretty big forehead. That's probably like a 7-incher. Beautiful bluegill, and now he's doing that. Chill. I'm gonna let you go. Don't worry. There you go, buddy. I don't even know what I was saying. I was basically trying to talk about how I've been retrieving these, but let's just do it again. Cast it into the wind. Keep your line low. Keep your nose pointed into the wind. Let that jig sink to the bottom. And then, like I said, it's just twitch, twitch, twitch. Oh my gosh, I just missed one. Just twitching it up a few times, and then I reel down my slack and I let it sink. Twitch it up a few times, reel down my slack, let it sink. It's a very typical retrieve for me with this thing, but right now it's really critical that I get it down there to the bottom. Watch your line at all times too, because a lot of the bites that I detect is in the line, because the line will jump left or right. What time is it? I've probably got another 30 minutes. I'm just gonna keep hitting these beds hard. Man, what the heck, man? They kind of come in spurts. I catch a couple, then I don't catch squat for a while. Oh, just gotta keep your head down, keep fishing, man. When it's like this, where you kind of catch a few, then you don't catch anything for a while, you just gotta stick with it, trust the process. I definitely feel like I've got a good gauge on what these fish are doing. Kind of broke my dry streak there with an absolute unit. Oh my gosh, I am the absolute best at catching dinks like this. No one can defeat me. I am the dink master. Most consistent small fish award goes to my channel, okay? I'm so proud of myself. Okay, buddy, go turn into a 5-pounder. Do it, I believe in you. Folks, I tell you what, how about an update? I'm having fun out here, a little tired, a little bit ready for dinner, to be honest with you. I'm probably gonna leave here in about 20 minutes, but hey, honestly, we're doing pretty good. For the first day of the pursuit of a 10, we've caught an 8-incher, which is really pretty solid. I know there's some bigger ones down there, and that's what's gonna keep me motivated to keep on casting for the next 20 minutes. That all being said, I just appreciate you guys watching this. You know, make sure to let me know if there's specific things you want to see me cover throughout this series. I don't know how many videos are going to be in this series. It might be 1, it might be 50, probably won't be 50, and it probably won't be 1, somewhere in between. Quite frankly, I guess it just kind of depends on how long it takes for me to feel confident in my abilities as a big bluegill angler. I'm super excited to just keep learning more and more about these fish. They've certainly stumped me a little bit today. That being said, I definitely feel like I'm on the right pattern now, so I'm pretty darn pumped about that. You know, my main goal today was just to kind of learn a little bit more about them and really try to figure out if I could potentially pattern what the fish are doing. And I feel optimistic and confident in what I'm doing. So let's see what happens for the next 20 minutes. Otherwise, we're gonna get going here shortly, but I am going to keep my bug in the water. That is a funny story. So I used to work for a fishing guide and a lure manufacturer back home, and I got that job in high school. I had sent him an email. I'm like, hey, I'll work for you for free. What can I do? He's like, actually, I need some help anyways, and I will pay you. And essentially, though, I ended up working for him for a couple years. He's an awesome guy, certainly a role model when it comes to fishing. And his number one piece of fishing advice, ultimately, and this is my number one piece of fishing advice as well, is keep your bug in the water. You don't catch a fish if you don't keep your bug in the water. So that's what we're doing. Now, in this case, it's a donkey-tailed junior, but your bug, right? And it's just a way of saying it, all right? Don't read too far into things. Let's get these sunglasses back on and let's go catch a big old bluegill. Let's go. I'm excited. I've got some leftover food. I'm gonna heat up some baked beans, guys. You know it's gonna be a good day when you're heating up some baked beans to go with your leftovers. Baked beans are freaking bomb. I mean, definitely like a top 5 side when it comes to just like dinner sides. Potato salad, baked beans. These are just such great summer foods. The Bush's baked beans, I don't even know. I get the different flavors all the time. I don't stick to one specific flavor. They've got a lot of cool flavors. Just a big fan of baked beans, ultimately, is what I'm saying. I don't know why I'm rambling about this, but I just kind of remember they're in my cupboard and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's the little things, folks. Okay, I'm getting so excited that I'm working my bait too fast, so I need to slow down. I'm noticing there's more pads up on the bank, so I'm wondering if I need to go to the next area where there's a little bit more of a bare bank. It's definitely been pretty consistent. Where you find a bare bank and you find some sandy bottoms, that's where you find plenty of fish. Oh man, there we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good one to end on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nice, beautiful gill right there. Nice fish to end on. That's what we're after. I mean, it's not a 10-incher. It's not that trophy, but it's a nice quality fish, man. Pegged him. All right. Beautiful fish, man. Beautiful. Yes, sir. I'm just glad we got one before we headed home. Now, it's time to go get dinner. Yay, yay. Okay, this is a perfect place to stop my car and recap today's trip. Honestly, folks, I had an absolute blast out there. I just rigged up the kayak. We're headed home for some delicious dinner. But man, I tell you what, for the first ever episode of the Pursuit of a 10, I'd say we did pretty good. You know, I was not expecting to catch a 10-inch bluegill today, and you know, that would have been pretty crazy cool if I would have, but we caught some pretty nice ones. In fact, that 8-inch fish that was the hybrid pumpkinseed bluegill, that thing was beautiful. It was super tall. It was a beautiful fish. I can't even comprehend. If that would have been a 10-incher, that would have been insane. So I'm excited to catch one of those 10-inchers at some point. I don't know how long it's gonna take me. It might take me 2 years for all I know, but the guarantee is this. I'm gonna keep this series going for a little while. I'm excited to just kind of tell the story of becoming a better big bluegill angler.
That's hard to say. Big bluegill angler, better big bluegill angler. Point being, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to take you guys along with me on this journey, and I'm excited to just, at the end of the day, just learn more about this sport that we all love so dang much, man. You know what else I love? I love food. And I'm hungry, and I'm going home, and I'm gonna eat. Thank you so very much for watching. Make sure to stay tuned for more episodes just like this one, and hopefully future episodes with some serious Michigan trophies. We'll catch you next time.